Quickly, I've actually shifted into a slightly different role at the Exploratorium. I now direct projects in the online engagement group. So my name is Rob, and this is my colleague Steve. And we're going to talk a little bit about some exciting things that are happening at our institution, some of the things that we're making, and some of the new ways that we're reaching out to our different audiences. Oops. So our big news is that our museum has relocated from its home at the Palace of Fine Arts for 43 years to a brand new location on San Francisco's downtown waterfront. It's been under construction for several years. It's been a large capital project, and we're excited to be there and to take advantage of the opportunities that the location affords us to connect with different audiences and reach out more into our local community and beyond. We open next month. The staff's been on site for just a few weeks, and we're still getting to know the place and to outfit all of our exhibits and our new space. And so we're opening on April 17th. We're going to show you just a couple of the images that we can share right now, but mostly we'd like people to come and experience it directly once we're open. So we're increasing our exhibit space to 330,000 square feet of both indoor and outdoor space. Having outdoor space is a new affordance for us that allows us to engage with people along the waterfront, different communities, and to take advantage of the setting. We didn't really have access to a outdoor space quite as much for exhibits in our prior location, and we will now, so it's a new opportunity. And it's at Pier 15 along the waterfront. It's providing over 3 times more exhibit space than our original location, and incorporates interaction with the waterfront as well as the cityscape beyond. We've built an environmentally friendly design that incorporates a bay water cooling system, photovoltaic arrays on the roof for generating power, collecting rainwater, and building materials that are going to help us get to a net zero energy goal. So it'll be a LEED certified building that has a lot of unique features. One of the new aspects of our space is that it incorporates 1.5 acres of free space. So these are not non-paid areas that the public can come to that completely surrounds the pier all the way to the water, and features a history walk of the bay and of the site itself, as well as outdoor exhibits, a cafe and store. This channel has been recently restored. It was a parking lot before we began construction. So it restores access to the water. We'll be able to use that as part of our exhibit space. And the outside that faces the bay is a deep water channel, and we'll be able to berth vessels from partners at NOAA and other research organizations to come and help communicate some of the work that they're doing. The museum itself features 6 main galleries, a new 200-seat theater, life sciences laboratory, classrooms that are wired, and labs, and features our machine, wood, and electronics shops, which is where you see that number 9 is. And that's part of what we do, is we create the exhibits in our museum on site, and we feature the creation of those exhibits as an experience that we make available to people to see our process and to be transparent about what we're doing and to educate about our process. This is the pier is a site that has 2 renovated piers, Pier 15 and Pier 17. And the only a brand new structure that's been built is this one that you see here at the end of the pier, which is called our Bay Observatory. And I'm going to just say a couple of words about that right now, and that is that this is a space that's being created to observe systems and natural phenomena in the local environment with sensors as bringing information in, telling stories about the bay and interaction with the people of the bay and the city. Now Steve's going to talk a little bit about another initiative.
So we have a lot of great exhibits at the observatory, but we can't really talk about them without the Public Information Office killing us. So I'll just talk about one of the exhibits that I have the pleasure of working on, which is the Wired-Pier project. And basically, this is a partnership with us and local scientists. Basically, we say, we have a great location for your instruments, and you should put them here, and they do, and they give us data. So it's great. So we're part of these observing networks, and we also get sources of data to show to the public basically that data doesn't come from nowhere. It's actually getting gathered all the time, and there's basically how it comes to be science and research and everything. So one of our exhibits for that is going to be a video wall. It's going to be a 3x3, basically 138-inch video wall. It's kind of pales in comparison to the huge one right here, but it's going to be great for us. So we're going to be integrating a lot of different types of content. We're going to have real-time data, as you can see in the lower right, content from some of our research partners and satellite imagery. This actually isn't ours, this is NASA's, but ours is being installed right now, hopefully. And but we'll have that sort of content. And we're also going to have observatory towers, which shows real-time data. So the types of instruments that we're going to be dealing with are environmental, mostly air quality, water quality, weather and atmosphere, and oceanography. So the air quality, we're working with UC Berkeley, and we're going to be measuring CO2, NOx, black carbon. We're going to have two sensors, one at basically the base of the pier and one at the far end, so we can actually see the variation. And for water quality, pressure, which is basically a proxy for water depth, salinity, oxygen, chlorophyll, acidification, hydrocarbons, and CO2. And for weather, we're going to have a weather station, SODAR and radar, which are basically going to tell us which way the ocean currents are going, and a radiometer, which is going to give us a vertical profile of our atmosphere. So this is basically kind of a mock-up of what real-time data would look like. This would be something that would be shown on our observatory tower, but it's also a website, so people can log in and actually view it if they want to. So we're going to be publishing our data on a service called ERDAP. So we're going to be running our own ERDAP server, but basically this is a take on OpenDAP. It takes in data from a variety of sources. It exports it to a variety of formats, XML, CSV, NetCDF, other ERDAP servers, JSON, HTML, more. So researchers can basically use it in whatever format which works for them, and also people, members of the public can too. So what's great is we're going to be taking our local data and putting it in the context of a larger data scheme. So this is data from the HF radar. I don't know if you can see, there's arrows actually here that's showing the ocean currents in San Francisco Bay. So it can kind of zoom out and see data from other sensors, and zoom out even more to show the entire California coast. And we could put that in an even larger context with, like if you want to do on a global scale, this is from ocean simulation from the ECHO model. So you can kind of see how it's like moving, you see like little blobs moving around, but we'll be able to take advantage of the Ultra HD resolution of our video wall. It's going to be about 6K video, like about 5,800 pixels by 3,000 pixels, so it's about 18 megapixels. So that would look like this if you zoom it up, so you get a lot more detail. And we'll also be able to tell larger narratives. So we're working with John Delaney's group at the University of Washington, and they've been kind enough to offer to make sort of prepackaged materials that we might be able to show on our video wall. So we might be able to stream video and tell larger stories. For example, if they're investigating extremophiles, we could show a cruise exploring hydrothermal vents, and we would show a lot of different content on the same screen. And I'll turn it back to Rob at websites.
So turning back outward just a little bit now, our website has been online since 1993, and it's just undergone a major redesign that we launched on January 2nd. So because it's a primary way that we connect with many of our audiences, I just wanted to introduce that to you now. There are a lot of resources there. About 13 million people a year visit exploratorium.edu, and we've got over 50,000 pages of original content. The new site, we had a number of goals in mind when this redesign was approached, including content organization and making more of the breadth of our different programs visible to online visitors. On the technology and web publishing side, our latest website version includes and embraces virtualization technology for scaling, content management systems for publication, greater outreach to social media, and responsive design frameworks to make sure the site can be accessed on different types of devices. If you have any questions afterwards, I'd be happy to talk about any of those types of technical details about this design and structure of our website. And I wanted to highlight a couple of new resources that we've published within the past year of interest to the educational community. This is a site called the High School Explainers. It's one of our explainer groups. Explainers are like docents. And the High School Explainers it's a training and mentoring program for high school students to come and work in the museum, interact with visitors, interact with our staff scientists, and to learn about phenomena directly and in preparation for further STEM learning. And this site is great because it has a number of videos, so it's basically the explainers in their own words. So you can check that out. On the learning about learning aspect of the Exploratorium, this is a site called Relating Research to Practice. It's an extension of the Center for Informal Learning at Schools work that the Exploratorium has been engaged in for a number of years. That's a collaboration with a number of institutions, including King's College and UC Santa Cruz. And this site offers a number of peer-reviewed briefs of research papers in the field. So it's a curated content set. And from our Moving Images group and online engagement group, we've this past year redesigned our Mars website to highlight the Curiosity mission, and had some great engagement with JPL, both going down there and producing some video programs as well as connecting to them live. We produced a number of webcasts highlighting the mission and featuring the different instruments on the Curiosity rover. This site was part of a larger initiative that included having a model of the rover, one of the only two models of the rover, in our museum for a month on loan from JPL. And so that created quite an opportunity to interact with visitors in the museum, tell stories about what the instruments were, and where the rover was going. And on June 5th, just past year, we had an opportunity to witness and take people along with us to view a very rare astronomical event, which won't happen again in our lifetime, which is the transit of Venus. And this one was a partnership for us again with NOAA. We sent our team of scientists and media producers to the Mauna Loa Observatory in Hawaii, and where they did a 5.5-hour live webcast of the transit happening. And that was a kind of a blockbuster event for us, similar to when we cover total solar eclipses. And we had over 294,000 live viewers, and many hundreds of thousands of viewers in the days right around the event. To date, it's still a very popular site, and it has great stories about the kind of climate research that's happening at that observatory, and why we went there in particular to film this event. Our media portal, Explo TV, is something that we constantly add to. It features over 1,000 programs, video, and podcasts. So it remains a great resource for schools and learners of all types. And then just lastly, sort of a new area for us is to be involved experimentally in creating iPad applications. So we have a series of uncovered applications. The first one was created and published 2 years ago, called Color Uncovered, and it's very popular. Download in the App Store. We just released a few weeks ago our latest application, which is called Sound Uncovered, and both of them offer very playful ways to explore color and sound phenomenon using the touch interface in a friendly way on the tablet itself. So these are interactive digital books is what we call them. And if you'd like, they're totally free and fun to play with. I have an iPad here, and I'll be happy to demo the Sound Uncovered app and let you play with that afterwards. So thank you, and sorry for taking so long, but I know that people have a lot of questions about the kind of things that we're doing, so I'd like to take any questions you have.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Steve. Any questions for our folks here today?
Rob, with your high school explainers, are they talking about the projects the kids are working on before the kids start the project? In other words, is it giving them information beforehand, or are they also blogging with the kids in a sense and looking at the project they've worked on to give them any advice as to how to?
Well, in this case, the explainers are facilitating conversations with visitors in the museum who are interacting directly with the exhibits. And they're also are not just in the museum physically, but outside in all of our exhibit spaces. We just had a pretty amazing event yesterday, an outreach event called On the Move, where we loaded up trucks with exhibits. And since we don't have a physical space to invite people to just yet, or a few weeks away from that, and went out into the community, and the explainers were a big part of that outreach effort as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Any other questions? Okay, well, with that, I want to, can we give a big round of applause to our presenters? And especially those who had to travel.